Hello everybody, welcome to EduTap, and today we are going to discuss a very important concern which aspirants usually have after they have given the examination. So many times it happens, or maybe you also have observed that you have this feeling, oh, this time examination it was so tough, I prepared for ESI static so well, but there were no questions in my shift. Or maybe sometime you have heard that, oh, this time examination was very difficult, there were a lot of ARD static question. Definitely the cutoff will go low and it does not go, and then you are in shock, like what happened, what has gone wrong, right? So today we are going to discuss that particular factor. Is it like very random thing, depend on your luck, that what is the weightage of static or current affair comes, or is there a particular pattern which NABARD is following, right? So today we are going to understand the key difference between the ARD in ES and in ESI section when we talk about how much current and the static questions they have their weightage. Okay, for that, before we'll talk about the syllabus. Okay, so this is the syllabus for ARD that has been given by the institution. All right, so अब क्या होता है, what we do, we have this tendency, just from the start, from the scratch, doing everything, and that is good. Okay, that is definitely good, but when we compare ARD and ESI syllabus, we also have to understand that what is the weightage of static and current affairs in the examination, right? So see, syllabus is something that you can find in the notification itself, right? But we have to understand the segregation that happens in the examination, right? So for that, it is very important to do previous year question analysis. We have done on your end for this particular video. Okay, so यहाँ पे if you look at it, for ARD section, agriculture and rural development, it has been observed that the static, it always, these years, the static has been holding the more weightage when we compare it to the current affairs section. All right, so in phase 1 you have like 40 questions of static, right? And in phase 2 there comes overall 30 questions are asked worth 50 marks, and this 30 includes both your static as well as current affair. ठीक है, अब if you compare it कि कितने मार्क्स से अगर हम डिनोट करें by right, because in phase 2 you have 20 questions that are asked of 2 marks each, that is 40 marks. 10 questions are asked of 1 mark each, that is your 10 marks. This is how 50 marks are made. However, this is not a concern. Okay, I would say you have this comparison from the objective perspective, especially for phase 1, right? Because there is where you are more dreaded. In phase 2 you still have descriptive writing to save you, although I would not say that ignore objective altogether. We are discussing that anyhow, right? But especially for phase 1, if I say, if you compare, if you do the previous year analysis, you would find that the static has always been in the range, on an average, when we say 30 to 32 marks, it means out of 40 question, because in phase 1 one question is worth 1 mark. Okay, so out of 40 questions, 30 to 32 are always asked from your ARD static only. So this is not something new which the examiner or maybe the institution is doing in your shift only, trying to make the difficulty level hard. No, that is not the case, right? Every time it has been observed, the majority chunk of ARD comes from the static, and current affair, it holds somewhere around 9 to 10 marks weightage on an average. Okay, I will also show you the previous year analysis so that you can understand on what basis I am saying so. Okay, so for 2023 year cycle, if we say see static, out of 40 question in phase 1, okay, 30 came from your static and there were 10 questions from current affairs. All right, if you do analysis of the year 2032, static से 2022 static कितना आया था? Out of 40, 31 questions were from static, and only 9 questions were there asked in in your 2022 cycle. However, देखो 2021 में देखिए, अब देखो हम backward side जा रहे हैं, right? ये प्रीवियस ईयर बैक जा रहे हैं, तो वहां पे इफ यू सी स्टैटिक का जैसे 23 क्वेश्चंस थे, करंट अफेयर 17 थे, देयर इज स्टिल अ बैलेंस. सो इफ यू जस्ट ऑब्जर्व व्हाट वी हैव ऑब्जर्व द ट्रेंड दैट टिल 2021 and even if you look for the previous year question also, static was still more. Okay, static has always been more, however there were more questions from current affair as well, but with the time the trend has changed, and now if you look at the change, more than 30 questions out of 40 questions that are asked in your phase 1 ARD, more than 30 or more than 30 will be from your static only, and less weightage will be from your current affairs. Similarly, if you look at ESI syllabus, okay, so if you are a student and you start reading, you might read about the social structure when you're studying about the social structure in India. India, you might would memorize all the static content of urbanization, migration, maybe gender issues, or maybe in fact the problems that are associated or that are dealt with the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, right? You might have this, you can say, vision, or maybe you might have this perspective that I should cover all the static because in ARD static is asked more, so maybe in ESI also it can hold a weightage. But that is not the case. Again, if we segregate that in static and current affairs, we would observe that much of the weightage, in fact sometime even all the questions, they can be asked from your current affairs in some shift. For example, say in a day, in a single day, there are 2 shifts that happen, right? So it might happen that in some shift even 40 on 40 questions are from current affairs, right? But if that not the case, still the maximum question are from current affairs, right? And last time it happened, I have talked to a lot of aspirants. I read the comments on YouTube videos also that ma'am, this time the examination was very tough, there were no questions from ESI static. But it never comes. You need to understand it's very important to do previous year analysis. By that only you would understand that current affair का ज़्यादा weightage ESI में होता है और ARD में static का ज़्यादा weightage होता है, right? Again here's the analysis. So for अभी दोबारा अगर backwards, अगर if I go from 21 to 22, there you would observe that oh देखो static at least 12 questions were there, but current affairs were 28. Still the weightage was in your current affairs side only, even though there were significant number of static questions, but still that weightage in current affair. But now if you move ahead, you would see that with time, with the passage of time, the static is becoming very restrictive for phase 1 especially. ठीक है, अब 2022 साइकिल में देखिए स्टैटिक question आपके only 3 were asked out of 40. Please keep in mind we are doing analysis of phase 1 only, okay? And in your current affairs, out of 40, 37 were from current affairs. Similarly for 2023 cycle, you are looking at static, around 5 questions were there and 35 questions were there from current affairs. What are we going to, what do we get to know about it? We get to know that it has always been the weightage of current affairs for ESI and static has a less weightage, and if you compare with that of ARD, in ARD the current affair has always been having the less weightage and the static has the more weightage. So your preparation should be like that. Whenever you are doing ARD section, your priority should to complete the static portion, right? And then continue with the current affairs. I am not saying to forget the current affairs altogether, but your priority should be static. Similarly, if you are covering ESI, definitely देखो reading static would help you to understand current affairs in a better manner. But you need to understand that you need not to dedicate your all the time to the static portion, because there the weightage of current affairs is more. Alright, so that was all in this video, and there is one more announcement. This is the never before offer with EduTap, which is offering. We have never come up with this much of the discount. So currently we are offering till 3rd of May. Okay, so that's the last date. Okay, so 3rd of May it is flat 50% plus additional 25% off. So in effect it will be 63% off. This is the very first time in the history of EduTap we have come up with the 63% off on all the courses that we have, that we provide, be it RBI, NABARD, SEBI, or its test series, or even the combo courses. If you want to go for 63%, you can avail. Please keep in mind that you have to use the code SAVEBIG to avail this offer, and it is valid till 3rd of May. So that is all in this video. If you want me to cover any such query, do let me know. I'll make a session on that, and all the very best for your examination. Thank you.